Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you in another video. All right, so we got whiff of what the New York Knicks were mulling over last night in regards to Donovan Mitchell. Um, it's been reported one of the deals that they were really close to was Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, excuse me. I believe he's a rookie, but I'm not for sure. Obi Toppin and who was it? Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Miles McBride, and Quentin Grimes. Those are the four players, and then they wanted 6 picks of some sort. I don't know how many swaps, but 6 picks on top of those 4 players. Listen, I looked in the comment section. My reaction is the world's reaction. Donovan Mitchell is not worth that at all. Not at all. Not at all. And the mock was accurate. I told you guys yesterday what would probably happen. And my thought was if the Knicks were going to be giving up, say, Fournier or Randall, then that makes the numbers make more sense to where you can take a few kids and a few picks, right? What the Jazz has tried to do was they tried to remove the mainstay piece, which is undesirable, to make the numbers match. The undesirable Fournier, the undesirable Randall. They were like, nah, we don't want to match the contracts with that undesirable thing. We're gonna remove that and take all of the good stuff. You're gonna give me your young players and you're gonna give me your picks. No bad contract. And then you can proceed to take one single player by the name of Donovan Mitchell. Needless to say, the Knicks aren't that dumb. The fact that they were mulling over it is concerning, though. Danny Ainge, if the league were like me, Danny Ainge would be sitting back and nothing would ever get done. I'm just gonna be honest with you, nothing would ever get done. I don't know how he does this. I don't know how he does it. That's all I can say. He is fleecing everybody all the time, every time. And it's like everybody continues to go to the drawing board and proceeds to get fleeced by this man. And no matter where he's at, you're in Boston, you're getting fleeced. If he's in Utah, you're getting fleeced. And so my thing is, I'm not going to the drawing board with Danny Ainge. I'm not letting him fleece me. Look, Donovan Mitchell, I personally don't take a whole lot of pride getting on here and telling people that I don't believe a player is a certain thing or something like that. That doesn't make me happy at all. Because on top of that, I've seen Donovan Mitchell play really, really fantastic basketball. So to open my mouth as to bring down his value isn't doing justice what I actually think of the player. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for me to have to get up here and say he's not that again, it's like I don't dislike his game. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not the intention. So it's one of those situations where it's just like, if I'm Utah and I'm a Utah fan, I don't mind what Danny's doing. Obviously, I'm happy he's doing this. I want him to keep it up. And to me, Donovan's worth that. If I'm a Utah fan, he is worth that to me. That's our legend. That's our star. Been a couple All-Star. He's been to a couple All-Star games. Made us many finals appearances. Has even missed the playoffs. I think that's probably why his price is so inflated. But I'm telling you, once he gets to where he's going, the dynamic that he's provided the Jazz, that's not the dynamic you're receiving. Because you don't have the holes that the Jazz have. No one does. Like, literally no one does. They're the only team that had that dynamic in place where he was absolutely needed. Every time he got the ball, it was necessary for him to have it, to do the things that he does best. Does anybody else have that circumstance available to him? So wherever he's going, his value's coming down from what you're about to pay for it. And that's the point. That's the point. As soon as you fork that over, just like Rudy Gobert, you can't get him for half of that. As soon as you fork it over. And so, like for a team like the Knicks, who are desperate to get better right now and have a bunch to give away, you would essentially be giving all of that to Utah for something that just ain't worth that at all. And you've already given a bunch of cash to somebody who may end up worth that someday, but ain't worth that now. You did it with Julius Randle, same thing. And then you would be giving away a bunch of young players that you shouldn't be giving away at all. Then a bunch of young picks that you obviously shouldn't be giving away at all. To be bringing in a player that I could argue for your fit, you shouldn't want at all. It's just, I'm glad the Knicks didn't do this for their sake. And this is a death blow for their franchise, obviously. And it's nothing wrong with having something like that brought to you. You just can't say yes to it. So they didn't. All is well. Now, if they come back to the drawing board and remove one pick, we still have a problem. That is a no. If they want to make that make sense in my mind, you remove all the picks. All of them. Every single pick removed. Then we could have a trade for Donovan Mitchell that makes sense to me. Because the way I see it is, those 3 kids, they are probably going to exceed the overall to the production of Donovan Mitchell. If you put all 3 of them on the floor for the duration of this season, next season, the season after that, combined, they should do more for you than Donovan Mitchell. And I said 3 seasons because I'm assuming Donovan has like 3 years left on his contract. That's just an assumption. But I'm telling you, Miles McBride, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, and Quickly, that's a bad trade by itself. It's a bad trade by itself. I don't know if Miles McBride, but Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin, I'd rather have those 2 than Donovan Mitchell. And you throw in Quentin Grimes? Still rather have those 3, obviously. So this is a situation for me where it's just a no-go. I like Donovan Mitchell, but I look at the upside of those 3 players and I say Donovan Mitchell was one of them when he was drafted. He wasn't no number 1 pick in the draft. He was number 8, 9, 10? He's a middle of the round pick who turned into something. You can't give away one of those guys. You can't give away 4 guys like that for one guy like that who made it. Because essentially what you're doing is you're giving up the upside of those guys in hopes that they can turn into this guy. Which is fine, but he didn't turn into this guy because that's not the price tag he should have. So, no, you could potentially be giving away the equivalent of Donovan Mitchell in one of those players. I don't know Quentin Grimes doesn't turn into what Donovan Mitchell is. I don't know that Emmanuel Quickly doesn't turn into what Donovan Mitchell is. They have different strengths and weaknesses, but I'm not sure they won't reach his status. Obi Toppin, how do I know Obi Toppin won't make 3 All-Star games in his career? Like, these are things I can't guarantee you won't happen based on understanding these guys are really good themselves. And you're talking about 5 picks. Any one of those 5 picks could be Donovan Mitchell based on the criteria of what we're talking about. How about more than one of those picks turn out to be Donovan Mitchell? Do you have any idea how much equity you actually give away if you do that? If just one of those players turn into Donovan Mitchell, you've already ruined the trade for yourself. And it's like, no, none of that makes any sense. Listen, I don't know if I'm the right person for a reaction to certain things because I'm still learning a lot, right? I'm still learning what is appropriate, what's fair, what to expect, what to want, and what should be offensive. That's what I'm learning in regards to trades, in regards to what should be brought back. Every day I'm learning something new about how much to expect something to cost in the NBA. And so at this point, after being, I guess, educated, I guess is the word I'm looking for, educated on certain things in regards to what trades should be, I just don't know if I trust my reaction to everything that I'm seeing right now, because we're looking at basically the equivalent of inflation in the NBA. So everything costs more because they're reacting to inflation and everything else, I think. But with that being said, I can't see myself doing that. I can't see myself making any trades in this era because of it, because everything is so incredibly inflated. If that's what they're doing, then it's not safe to make trades right now. because whatever trade you're gonna make is gonna lose value off of the strength of just these are the times. Like for example, if they are reacting to inflation, well, we don't assume that that's going to stay the way that it is 3, 4 years down the road, 5 years down the road. But you're making trades that are going to affect the price tag of things that you're trading 5 years from now. Nah, no. Can't do it. Can't do it. I wouldn't make any trades right now if I were a franchise. Looking at all these price tags going around, if that's what it takes to move Donovan Mitchell ain't getting moved this year. It will put that off another season. Straight up. I don't see a reason why Utah can't put that off another season. Because if that's the price tag they're looking to get, they're going to get no 100% of the time. I'm not giving you that, and neither is the other 29 teams. Nobody's doing that for Donovan Mitchell at all. And if any of them do, congratulations. Because we've seen things being done like that before. I would have said the same thing about Rudy Gobert. I would have said the same thing in regards to Tyrese Halliburton being traded to the Pacers. I would have never saw any of that coming. None of that makes any sense to me now. So could they get lucky? Yeah, if you drive a hard bargain long enough. Danny Ainge has proven that already with that Timberwolves trade. You put your chest out and you say that I have something worth this long enough. Eventually a sucker will come around and buy it. It may take a long time. It may not take any time at all. But if you stand there with your chest out long enough, some new sucker's gonna come around with a bag of money, and they're gonna buy what you're selling. So Danny Ainge just got to keep standing there with his chest out, and the price tag on what his stuff is. It'll come around, which is ridiculous to be honest with you, but it's true. So that is what I expect to happen. Eventually, he's gonna get what he wants for Donovan Mitchell or close to it. He ain't gonna walk away from this unhappy. I'm pretty sure of that, and I don't think Donovan will either. Because, like I said, if he stays there, I think his value stays where it is, and ultimately he gains the most out of everybody. His price tag should show him that. Like, brother, you gonna gain the most from staying right where you at. Moving, nah, that decreases that price tag. So if I'm him, I'm trying to lobby to stay in Utah. I'm like, look, I can stay with y'all. I can make it happen because aside from him landing in New York or in LA, he stands to make more money as the mainstay of a team. We're learning that with Booker and obviously all these guys who are signing these extensions that are absorbing it with their home teams. Of course, Washington with Beal and Dame in Portland. It pays to stay if they'll have you. So that's what I think is what Donovan's running into. I think they're kicking him out, as I told you guys last night. And that's another reason why not to pay that price tag for him. If his own team is kicking him out for any reason whatsoever, that price tag, there's no trade demand. He didn't make a trade demand. So in the presence of a situation where KD has made a trade demand decreasing his value, Donovan Mitchell has made no trade demand. His value is intact. If I'm the New York Knicks, maybe it makes more sense to take that same trade package and offer it to the Nets for KD. Because that's the more valuable piece. That's the guy who's on a discount. It's like this. Am I going to go buy a Honda for 19 grand? Or am I going to get a Mercedes for 19 grand? Both the same year, both the same make and model. The Mercedes is on sale. The Honda is at peak top price. Same amount of money, very different cars. One is on sale, and the one that's better is on sale. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Mercedes. It's a lot to consider because if I bring in the Mercedes, of course, it's gonna cost more to keep it going, parts and things of that nature. But it's still a better car at the same price. At the end of the day, that's what I'm weighing. And we could talk about insurance and all that stuff, only partially relevant to what it is that the subject is, which is basketball. So that's where the analogy disappears. But the point is, you want KD if you're giving up 5 picks and 4 youngsters, not Donovan Mitchell, man. Please. I like I said, the New York sentiment is real, and maybe that's valuable to your franchise based on what you could do with him marketing wise. Again, he could make a lot of money in New York, so I get it. It's a lot of money to be made, but it's not real. That's not who he is. That's not the player that you're receiving. That's just the value that Utah has on him, based on how they've used him, based on what their marketing needs were. And so that's what you're going to be paying for, their marketing needs, not your own. I just definitely think this is the wrong move. I'd rather give Donovan Mitchell a couple years and sign him in when he's a free agent someday. Keep all this stuff, let it mature, and don't lose any of it in bringing him in. Some of those guys you want to pay, some of those guys you're not going to pay. If the Utah Jazz are not going to take what I want to give them in regards to the players I don't want to pay and the pick equity that I can afford to lose, I'm not doing a deal with them. No different than the Knicks didn't do a deal with them. Absolutely not. You need to take one of these Randalls or Evan Fourniers and stop playing around if you want 5 or 6 picks. 6 picks. You're not getting Quentin Grimes. You want 6 picks. You're not getting Obi Toppin. You want 6 picks. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you Fournier and I'm giving you 6 picks, and you can proceed to give me back the overinflated superstar. That's what that is, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna sit in this camera for another 16 minutes and proceed to tell you how ridiculous that is to me. It's not happening, man. He's not that at all. He's really good. In fact, he's great. But stop the nonsense, man. Stop the nonsense. We acted like the man is Iverson and Kobe or something with this trade demand. No, the Knicks have a lot of needs, and one of them is to get a lot of people excited about the Knicks. But if it's going to cost them their entire future, you got to understand that there's more than one of those 5 picks that you could probably market the exact same way. More than one of those 5 picks is going to help you just as much as Donovan will. And so I don't mind giving up the kids. If you're not going to pay any of them, you're probably not going to pay any of them. That's why you don't mind letting them go. But 5 picks, 6 picks rather, even worse. So, yeah, that's the end of my Donovan Mitchell, New York Knicks reaction to the trade rumor that didn't happen. I do think they'll stay at the drawing board, try to figure something out. I do think Danny Ainge walks away feeling great about this. And I do think the Knicks are going to get fleeced heavily, but not as bad as it looked last in this trade rumor. Absolutely not. So that's pretty much the thought, man. BDO 44. Thank you all for watching.